So today we're tackling the pain points of van lifers head on, and I'm going to explain to you guys why you're making van life so much more difficult for yourselves and how to stop doing that right now. So basically, the reason that, well, from what I read anyways, and from what I hear, that you guys are having issues with, finding good spots to park in at night, or just safe spots where you're not going to get the 2 a.m. knock on the door kind of thing. Well, that's one of the main things that I hear, and there are definitely tactics to overcome that. And I have lots of videos coaching you guys how to actually find these spots, the spots that I personally use and never have issues with. But even if you're doing all of that, okay, because obviously that can be solved by watching some of those videos, but even if you're doing all of that, you might and will definitely still have issues if you have this other complaint, which is the issues with privacy. So why would you have issues with privacy in a camper van or in a mobile base camp, like we like to call it here, if you don't have a window? So if you have a window in your van, or you're thinking of getting a window installed, let me stop you right there. Do not do it. You're going to regret it, and you're going to draw so much attention to yourself. You're going to have worse noise insulation, and then you're going to have issues with privacy. Because you know what your van is going to look like with a window? It's going to look like an RV or a camper van. We're going for the working van aesthetic. That's what keeps us discreet and stealthy. And one of the main reasons I don't have issues ever, I've never had issues with authorities. If anything, I've had more issues with people trying to break into my van, but I've had 2 instances and they weren't that bad. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys about that in another video, and how to mitigate the risk, which is really like a non-risk, because people usually go for vans that they think, well, that there's nobody inside of it. So anyways, I digress. Back to the point. So yeah, forget about the windows, guys. Like, the whole point of this lifestyle, if anything, is to spend more time outdoors, not locked up between 4 walls. So why would you need a window in your mobile base camp? The truth is, you wouldn't. You could just leave the door open during the day. You can let it air out properly. Like, you don't need a window. You can just go outside and actually get some actual real sunlight. So having a tinted window in the, take up half a wall in your camper van is a stupid idea, because like I said, it's going to make you so much more obvious to authorities and to prying neighbors, people who are concerned for their safety. They see a weird van parked outside their house that they don't usually see, and they're like, the hell is going on in there? And on top of it all, staying on the theme of aesthetics, on top of it all, you have a roof rack, you have an awning, and God knows there's probably some sort of like generator running outside, or like you guys are like camping in the middle of the street. Now that is illegal. You can't do that, okay? You can only camp in campgrounds. But if you're sleeping in your van, in your work van, between shifts, because you're traveling to a different city, whatever, you're being discreet about it, there's no law that prohibits that. There might be exceptions in certain jurisdictions, like we're talking at the county level or even on the particular city level. But there's never, like I can say without a doubt that in Canada and the States, there's no law prohibiting you from sleeping inside your vehicle. There's certain things you have to do, like parking where it's legal. You can't be under the influence. You can't have any, whatever alcohol in your, the basic stuff, right? So if you just tell the authorities, well, I'm just sleeping between shifts. If you need me to move, I'll move, whatever. But anyways, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves there. I can make a video on how to deal with authorities if you ever have to. But the truth is, I've never had to. To date, I still haven't had to. And the main reason is because my van looks like a delivery van. I haven't changed anything on the outside. I had the roof rack at some point. I got rid of it because I don't need the solar panels anymore. And I'll explain to you guys in another video why I think solar panels are kind of like useless, especially on your roof. Like if you're gonna get a solar panel, quick tip, get one of those portable foldable ones, okay? Because here's another quick tip. If you don't want your van to be a convection oven, it's better to park it in the shade. And if you park it in the shade, solar panel is not going to be able to charge your battery. So I guess you can go ahead and do the maths there and kind of guess what I'm going to be talking about in that video. But if you want to check out the video, by all means, hit it up and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So that being said, unless you're planning to do some tanning on your roof, which I would say the beach is a better place to do that personally, but let's say you still want to tan on your roof, I mean, I would just not do that. I would just have a nice clean roof. If you have an awning. So basically you can be working inside your van. You probably set yourself up a nice L couch or kind of like diner area with a, marine table with a swivel thing. Like, you probably have that, or probably planning to have that, and yet you have this awning. It's like, why do you have the awning? Like, if you want shade, you're inside your van. You could go to a public library, a cafe. Like, why do you need the awning? So if you look like you're camping, they're gonna think you're camping. So that's the one thing I would avoid, is aesthetic features like a roof rack, an awning, and God forbid those additional windows that you install in your camper van, because those are gonna give you away and make you stick out like a sore thumb. So you wanna be stealthy and you're not gonna have any issues with the authorities, ever. Now, if you've gotten that under control, then you check out the videos I made on how to actually find good spots during the day, good spots in the evening, and we're doing it live on the spot. Like, I'm in the van driving, I'm pointing stuff out, I'm showing you my reasoning. It's really cool video. And I even show you how to like plot it out on Google Maps. Like, let's say you're going to a new location and, using tools like iOverlander to, get an idea of where you'll be able to park when you're like, 300 plus kilometers away from home and you don't know the areas. So that's what those videos are for. So if you combine those two things together, you get your aesthetics under control, essentially turning it into a stealth van or a mobile workstation, which, is the whole point of DIY camper build, because we're trying to expand our reach and be able to work in different cities and different areas and be location independent when it comes to, finances. Well, then you're not gonna have any issues. And if you learn the skills and you develop the ease and the facility of finding the spots and being able to do it rather quickly and without any issues and having the experience under your belt, then that's gonna be a huge weight off your shoulders. And you're actually gonna be able to start enjoying this lifestyle, and it will have its own luxury to offer to you that transcends that of a hotel room, which you can always get. If you feel like having a hotel vibe or even a motel vibe, you can always rent that. But your camper van, it's a different vibe.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. If you're building something that's meant to last, whether it's a camper van, a business, or just a better way of living, I'm glad you're here. Everything I use, recommend, or offer is linked in the description. Take what works, build your own blueprint, and I'll see you in the next one.